Greetings, housemates, and welcome back to another episode of Learn to Play Endless Legend. I'm Phwop, and it is time to take a look at the marketplace. We've put it off for quite a while. You have to research specific technologies to have any access to the marketplace at all. They're indicated by these little stacked coins. The first is Mercenary Market, unless you're the roving clans, in which case you start off with, I think, full access to the market. Mercenary Market we researched a long time ago but haven't made use of yet. It unlocks the mercenary section of the marketplace, and it unlocks the heroes section of the marketplace. So what does that mean? That is what you see here. We can purchase units for it's kind of expensive. I mean, if you have a lot of dust, we're not a super heavy dust producing empire yet. But yeah. You can purchase units right off the bat. Compared to building our own units, it is quite expensive, but there you go. The demand, as you buy specific units or other people buy units, the price will go up due to the demand. So if someone really wants to corner the market on ice wargs, they're going to pay more and more, and then other people are going to have to pay more and more for ice wargs. So that's an interesting dynamic if you and an opponent are all shopping for things. I believe when you purchase them, it takes a little while and then a new one shows up to replace it. These are the current list of, like, I think 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. The most that can ever be displayed is 10, but when people purchase them, you will, there'll only be 9. Furthermore, you can actually learn what other people have done in the game, like if anyone's actually purchased them or anything, which is intriguing. And the roving clans actually get access to a ton of information about who is buying what and why. Or maybe not why, but they can guess. And you can play a really, really strong game of economic information tactics. The reason I'm doing this video now, and I haven't before, is boom. We want to hire our second hero. We finally got enough cash. Note that they cost about 415 to 450. And we just crossed that threshold, and it's the very first thing I wanted to do. We've been saving up for quite a while. It's one of the reasons we actually researched this dust-giving technology. Of course, we also researched that dust-giving technology because there is no dust-giving technology in Era 2. If you want dust, you have to get it Era 1. It's sad that we couldn't get this one because this will actually give you way more dust in general. But hey, we work with what we got, and we got some other great stuff, so I'm not going to complain. So we can buy a hero. It's an important choice. Let's actually go over a little bit. So this technology, let's go over the whole marketplace first. This technology unlocks resources and stockpiles. So that is the other side of the marketplace. Once you've researched that, you have full access to the whole market. So you can buy strategic, you can buy luxury goods, and you can buy stockpiles. The strategic and luxury goods are really tempting, and it lets you sell off excess, like we might have excess titanium or glass steel, depending on how the extractors play out, what regions we conquer, and it can be worth a lot. Also, some quests or legendary deeds will give you like 100 of a resource, and you can't possibly spend all of it, so you can sell it off or trade it for other things. So it's really flexible to have access to these. Stockpiles work just like our own recycled stockpiles. They're worth some amount of food, industry, or science, or maybe even, I don't think they make them out of dust. But of course you can acquire those and for some amount of dust or other resources, and then instantly up your production in a city or further your scientific inquiry or whatnot. So very flexible economic tools that you have to research in Era 3. After that, there's a couple things that affect the marketplace, I believe. No, that's pretty much it. So these technologies, kind of a must-have. It's a big piece of the game. You can do without them, but it's tough. it's really hard to go without the heroes section of the marketplace. So set aside a research and era one to unlock that. Now, the selection of heroes you can get are going to vary per game and even over the course of the game. Note that some heroes are only available to you, and some heroes get cheaper based on demand or not. Since we're not facing any demand on our exclusive heroes, they seem to be cheaper. So what do we pick? Well, we would like a combat leader. Let's think about what we want. I could use 2 governors because I have 2 cities, but I would prefer a combat leader since soon enough we're going to have a proliferator and we're going to want to go on some nasty assaults. I would also like a spy. Someone who could spy would be good. Here is a Forgotten Faction hero, and you'll note that she has spying 4. That's as good as it gets. And of course the Forgotten Faction specializes in spying, so their skill tree is actually focused on that as well. You can look at every hero. What I would pay attention to is once you understand the common, that will never change. And then of course there's only a few classes, so it's not hard to know what all of these do. There are more factions than there are anything else. So knowing what these faction skills are plays a huge role in understanding exactly what hero would be best for you in the moment. So here are the classes. There's support. These heroes are healers or buffers, as well as ranged attackers, but usually not terribly damaging. There are infantry. Yeah, there's infantry. Generally frontline, pretty good against anything. You can equip them with lots of stuff like swords and shields. Some of these guys you can't equip with specific items. For example, I have... let's go here. I have gotten through a quest access to this super shield. You can build, you basically have the design for this shield. You can only equip them on heroes. They cost titanium, but they are awesome. It is a super powerful shield. If you look at it, it's like tier 4 or 5 or something. It's ridiculously strong. At least stat boost wise. I don't think you have to have access to a one-handed weapon, which the support type heroes won't. So a support type hero could never equip this shield, which is kind of a loss for my empire because I would like all my heroes to have access to this super good thing. It's not that the support hero would be useless, but he could be better. Note that ranged heroes generally have range 3. Some of them have up to range 4 if they're ultra long range. Note this guy's got some sort of Uzi. Yeah, it's all very tricksy to know what to work. The Vaulter heroes have a capacity called Techno Lover. And it depends on having the Holy Resource, which is a Vaulter only statistic, which means that is totally useless to you and of a major benefit to Vaulters in particular. So my choice right now, forget all this other stuff. Also the Ardent Mages, they have access to spells if you are actually the Ardent faction. Otherwise, not all heroes are created equal. It's important to note. So it's not only important to know what the faction bonuses are, how you could possibly build them, what specializations you can make for them, as well as what you want. It's also important to pay attention to how they boost your armies, and each hero does have a unique capacity or 2 or 3. They're usually listed at the bottom. Expansion support, minus 50% expansion disapproval received on city, and spying. At least spying is going to be on every hero, what you're going to look for is expansion support and what level it is, 1, 2, 3. I don't think hero specific capacities get up to 4. Let's check out this guy. Army health boost, food boost, and spying. Army health boost gives every unit in the army 15 more life and 5% additional life on top of that. Also food boost. If they're a governor, he adds 2 food per level plus 1% food per level he has achieved. So if he's level 8, that'll be 16 food and 8% more food, which is a pretty serious boost. Let's look here. Food boost 2, 4 food per level and 1% food. So if he were level 8, that's 32 extra food and 8%. That's a lot. What do we have here? Army defense boost, 10% defense the army, 30% more defense on the army. Army initiative, more percent initiative. So these last 3 attributes, here we have spying 4, which is going to make for tons of extra infiltration points. The spying trait is one of the very, very few ways you can actually increase how much infiltration points you get. And we'll cover that in a later episode, how infiltration works. All sorts of goodies. Yeah, basically lots of benefits from having high spying if you're going to use them for that. Otherwise, none. Army attack boost, 10 more attack across the army and then 30% increased attack. Think about that, 30% increased attack. That's a huge bonus. And then dust efficiency too. If they're a governor, then you get more dust per person working dust on the city, and you get 1% more dust per level of the hero. Let's just go through all of them. Army boost 2. This one's crazy. It just gives you a good bit of everything. More attack, more defense, more initiative, more damage. Science boost. If they're a governor, use science harder. Spying, not as good as other ones. Here, Army health boost 2. That means more life. Food boost, better food. Spying. Here, Army attack boost. And I don't know. Some of these heroes, I'm not sure they're all balanced. Whatever. Some of them are sweet. Pay attention. More attack for the army. Lots more attack. If they're a governor, 6 dust per level of this dude. And 1% more dust per level, which is pretty sweet. And of course, remember what factions they're from. It's all very complex. Army boost, influence, spying. We personally, I really like what she brings to the table. The dust efficiency I don't care about too much, but it's pretty sweet. The attack boost is sick for us, right? If she's leading an army. And the infiltration effect I think is going to be pretty important since I'm right up next to the Forgotten. I actually need someone who's good at spying to help me counteract them and their excellent spying, as well as to spy against them, because they're so good. Only a skilled spy is going to actually be able to compete with them in any way. Plus, I would love to show you guys sooner rather than later how espionage works. So let me go ahead and decide on her. If not her, then I'll note that this faction ability is kind of tempting for me. Improved Auriga Affinity adds the Auriga Affinity 2 capacity to the hero. Note that they begin with capacity 1. Besides these being the hero specific boosts, note that of course they get some faction specific boosts. And of course most of this is equipment. And then of course this is class. Are they ranged or not? Things like that. So I hope this makes a little more sense of the capacities that heroes have. And you know that heroes are different. It can be kind of hard to tell them apart. Just know that their unique abilities are down at the bottom. And when I say unique, I mean specific to that hero. Not determined by faction, not determined by equipment. But the reason one of the ally heroes would be nice, one, they can have their whole army ignore movement penalties with only a single level. That's pretty sweet. They reduce the bribe cost. That means nothing to me since I can't bribe at all. They can reduce the cost of building using pearls, so they can be much more pearl efficient. And this one gives you 20% more pearls received when collecting, and the hero gets 2 more XP per collected pearl cluster. At level 2, with a second skill point invested, the bonus goes to 30% more pearls collected and 3 more XP. Since the game collects fractions of pearls, you don't have to sweat the fact that like you're getting rounded down somewhere and losing things. It's good news. And you're going to want someone coasting around collecting pearls, and they're going to be able to carry an army around, collect pearls, and then become governors and spend them efficiently. So hopefully for my 3rd or 4th hero, I'll pick up an ally just so I can make use of all the sweet pearl options more efficiently later in the game. But for now, hero number 2 is definitely going to be a spying hero. I almost suggest you do this all the time. Try and pick up a forgotten hero. Their faction-specific skill tree, since we're looking at it, is awesome. Managed Torpor reduces the assignment cooldown on the hero. So at level 1, I can switch them after assigning them. I can switch them to another assignment 3 turns instead of 5 turns after they were last switched. So they can become a governor, be there for 3 turns, and then they can switch to lead an army. And then once the army's done fighting, they can switch back to governing, which is really nice. And of course at level 2, they only have a 1-turn cooldown where they're locked in place, which is sweet. The other things they can do are seniority bonus. This makes them better at performing espionage, consecutive espionage abilities on the same city. And they get better at escaping the penalties of being caught spying. Furthermore, every class can become a little bit better infiltrating, but it stacks super well on these guys. And they can just increase attack for your armies in general, or make your whole army stealthy, which normally requires equipment or you be from the Forgotten faction. And that means that your army can't be seen except by adjacent enemies, which means you can do a lot of surprise attacks and horrible things to your friends and enemies, enemies. So, I really like the Forgotten Heroes as a first choice. Let's go ahead and buy her. And of course, she needs to be assigned somewhere immediately. So let's take a look. She, of course, can't be governor of here. We've already got a governor. Although we could swap them around if we felt like it. She could become a governor here. But I don't think this place is going to be building all that much anytime soon. So let's go ahead and assign her to an army. We can do that from the Academy screen. So the Academy screen takes care of all your heroes. We're going to go ahead, select her, assign to army, and here we get a list of all our armies, of which we only have 1. Go, my minion. So now, where is that army? Here she is. Note that she is rocking it over there. If I had been thinking a little more clearly, I could have decked her out with better equipment beforehand, but too late. Now I don't know. Yeah, Forgotten Heroes dual wield. It says can equip 2 one-hand weapons. I'm pretty sure it means can't equip shields. But we'll have to check it out sometime. Either way, I mean, you know, that's a shame, but we really need that spying capacity, and that's what she's going to be about. And if we assign her as a governor, she'll bring in a little more dust as well. So that's it for the marketplace and purchasing your first hero. If you have a really massive dust income, you can afford to hire lots of heroes, but of course their upkeep does get pretty expensive. We're paying 20 right now. But more importantly, remember that to unlock the full marketplace, you need this Era 1 research, Mercenary Market, and this Era 2 research, Imperial Coinage. And they're practically must-haves for every empire, even me, the warmongering necrophages. I can really feel the burn without it. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.